Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here with me, the Woman Pod with Valerie Atkinson. I hope all is well. So, what a perfect moment to get up and do content. Yeah. So, I know I had mentioned a couple episodes ago that I had been feeling very drained, very exhausted. And, I think this message is going to hit for a lot of people, not just myself personally. But I notice why I do what I do and why I have to face the consequences and where I have to set boundaries over and over again. Don't let the small things drive you insane, but allow the movement of seeing what you can do moving forward. So let's get into it this episode today, this morning. Happy Monday, by the way, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. And the recent times that I've usually load a podcast here and there is when I'm able to. Magically enough, today I was able to do so today because, the weather, it is cold. I do have to run an errand later on today, but I was able to get some sleep last night. So let's talk about that. So a burnout will cause you to feel like you have no patience. You have no way to do decision making. You're clouded. You're off. You feel some type of way, right? So if you're feeling like, dang, Val, I can't get it together. I'm impatient. I'm getting really upset out of nowhere, lashing out on myself or the kids. It's just like, it's not like me. Or I'm just kind of like, I'm bottling it all up and I'm not saying anything. I'm not asking for help. Then this message is for you. Oh my God, you guys, this weekend literally taught me that. So you're probably like, what? Just this weekend, Val? Yeah, dude. And I want to help you move forward with that. As I'm looking up here, some things that I can as well look for you guys and maneuver as we go through this podcast today. So yeah, like I was noticing where obviously, with everything that's going on around me, I was stressed. I'm not going to lie. I've been stressed. The little one doesn't have insurance at the moment. I can't take her to the doctor. She's been sick since, like the last weekend, going into this weekend. So it's been one of those things where I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then like out of nowhere, my car needed some type of maintenance. Apparently something needed to be done to the car. And then the same week, I had a plumbing issue. So literally, like, I had to get the plumber to come out, replace a whole new toilet. So it was one of those things. He came the first time, and then he had to come back again the second time during the midweek, which he gladly helped me out, and he explained the process. But your girl was going through it. Mind you, I hadn't uploaded any podcast whatsoever because I was just busy with life. So when I tell you stuff's going on in the house, that's what has been going on. Other than that, I just get called from different avenues of my life. And when you say avenues, Val, it's just, I get asked things, I get pulled away from what I need to be doing, what I need to be focused on. So I literally said yesterday, I was like, it's Sunday. Usually Sunday is my self-care day. And usually when she's with her dad, my baby dad number 2, I tend to do these things for myself. But in my mind, I said, there's no way I'm going to get through this week like this. There's just no way. I was like, what can I do today to make myself get energized and feel good about myself? Because I just feel like shit. I feel like shit. I really do. And of course, the person that I'm dating, I told him, I was like, hey, man, I just feel really off. Like I really do with everything that's going on. Mind you, he's also going under some issues as well. Like, I think he might have COVID, I think. And I was just like, oh, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just like one thing. And I was just like, look, well, get as much rest as you need. Like, I've been there. I have had COVID. I've had COVID when I was pregnant. That shit sucked. And I was by myself that time. It was in the summer. The kids were out with their dad in the summer, baby dad number one. I thought I was going to die. I mean, it felt terrible. Mind you, I was about 8 months pregnant at the time. So I live in a 2-story house, and trying to get up and down was insane. So I told him, like, man, like, get as much rest. And I mean that because I know what it feels like to be with that. Like, oh my God, you feel like immortal, right? Because he told me he had fever. So mind you, all of this is happening. I get off, like, throughout the day, I said, you know what? I'm not going to do an absolute fucking thing. Excuse my French. And I'm just going to freaking watch TV with the kids. Like, I'm going to be lazy. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm not going to feel guilty that there's stuff all over the floor. I'm not going to feel guilty that I can't do this because this is my fucking house. Like, what the fuck? Like, I should be able to fucking do this. The fuck? I'm having a pep talk with myself here. So anyways, I lay in the sofa. I had just washed the blankets, so they were right here folded nicely. And I told Ethan, I was like, hey, you want to come watch a movie with me, buddy? And he's just like, no. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I let it go. And the reason why I say Ethan, because my son, he's amazing. He's a really good guy. He's going to be a great husband. And I had lashed out at him earlier when I had cooked lunch for everybody, and I had said, hey, buddy, like, the food's ready. And he's like, well, where's the plate? And I lashed out on him, and I literally said, why does everybody have to ask me for everything? And that just came out on its own. And then he starts crying. And I felt terrible, y'all. Like, I sat on the table, and he didn't even eat at that point. And I said, look, your mom is tired, and I know you don't get this, but I apologize. I apologize for getting upset, but it's because everybody asks me for everything. And maybe I shouldn't have said it that way, and I apologize. I didn't mean it that way. I was like, but you guys always ask for stuff, and it's like, you're supposed to, right? But your mom feels overwhelmed right now. Like, everything's just been piling up, and I just expect a little bit more independence of you guys sometimes, and I guess maybe that's me having high expectations as a mother, as a single mother, right? Like, I expect you guys to do a little more, but that's not the issue here. I was like, next time, baby, I was like, if you're coming in and I told you food's ready, just be aware, look around. Where's the plate? Do I need to ask mom where it's at? Just ask those questions. Don't ask that specific thing, right? So he thinks about it. He goes upstairs. He decides he's not going to eat. That's when I decide to lay down on the sofa. And I know a lot of people are going to come here and tell me, like, some bullshit, like, damn, that's fucked up, Val. Like, you shouldn't have said it that way, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent. I never did say that. We're all fucking learning here. So this is going to teach you a mighty lesson other than myself. So he goes up there, and I put the movie Soul, by the way. I put the movie Soul. I don't know why. I've been wanting to watch that movie. And then, like, a few minutes later, he comes and sits down, and he decides to watch the movie with us. So it's me, my little baby, and then my son. The oldest was up there playing games on her tablet. So anyway, so we decided to watch this movie. We're laughing throughout this movie. And then we end up at the end. It's always, I don't know what it is with me in movies. I start to cry. This is how I know, like, I'm able to, this is the reason why I do these things, because I know what makes me go back to Val, like, to soothe Val, to comfort Val. It's like an allowance of allowing me to cry when I need to cry, when I don't want to cry, but I know that I need to cry. So, mind you, I'm the type of girl or type of woman who doesn't express her emotions. If you've been on with me on this podcast, I explain it a lot. So being into the feminine energy role, I've been learning, like, I have to open up. I have to say what I need to say. I need to speak my mind. So mind you, at this point, I'm starting to feel like, oh my God, like I start crying at the end of the movie, and me and my sister start having this conversation. And I go, I still don't get it. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's just like, well, he's like, it's not about the spark. It's about what you do. He's like, you just got to do what you do every day. And I was just like, well, you could be right. I was like, that's probably part of it. You know how the guy, I think I forget his name, but the guy and the cat, right? How they're soulmates. They come onto this world, and they at first they don't like each other, but they kind of have to get used to each other because that's just the way it is. Okay, so I'm gonna use my son and me as him and as an example. So, anyways, he tells me later on, so wait, how did I come about? And I said, well, she's like, did you kiss dad? Or what, or who did you kiss? And I said, I kissed your dad, your dad. And then he's like, oh, and then Chloe happened. I was like, yes. And then Kenzie, I was like, well, Kenzie, I kissed somebody else, you know who, right? And then he's like, oh, what? He's like, so now I'm here and now I have to do this. And I was like, baby, slow down. Slow down. You're missing the concept here. He's a Capricorn. He's so freaking funny. He's logical. I love it. I like that because he stimulates my mind sometimes and I stimulate his. So anyways, he tells me, well, that's interesting. I was like, yeah, but you know what? This is only to teach you that we all come here for a purpose. We don't always understand what our purpose is, but we have to find things that we like to do to get to that purpose, right? Sometimes we're not going to know what our purpose is. I know they say, right, you come onto this earth and you just kind of like, you pick your spot and then boom, you come in, right? And he's like, well, and then we start talking about my dad. And he's like, well, what about grandpa? I was like, he's probably going to come back again, right? I was like, he probably is. You could be right, in a different person in a different way. And he's like, oh, wow. He's like, so you never really die? I was like, I don't know. I mean, people say people reincarnate. I'm a strong believer of that. And so mind you, he's like, oh, wow. He's like, so we never leave. And then he's like, so we stay here on earth. I was like, yeah, we stay here on earth after we pass, but then we go to a different, I don't know, I guess a different dimension at this point. A lot of people know it by hell and heaven, right? And so anyways, we get to that, and then I start crying at the end of the movie because I'm a sucker for movies. So he's like, don't cry, Mom. And I was like, I don't know why I'm crying, dude, but I'm fucking crying. Like, I'm crying. Like, I'm sobbing at this point. And you're probably wondering, like, why about? Because that was a little way of me unfolding my stress. Like, I knew, and this happens a lot. Now I notice it's a pattern for me that this is something that I need to do to really just relax. Mind you, I'm on the go. I had shifted to the survival mode again. I had just got off of the survival mode. And this is what you need to learn about this. When you don't even know how to freaking sit down with yourself and pause and not lash out or like feel attacked by the world or anything outside of us, you're probably in survival mode and you're probably freaking going, and your brain and your heart are just not coherent anymore. That the wavelength of how you're feeling goes back to that past, right? Back to the issue, back to the problem, back to that, let's just call it the hormone. And I was actually watching Joe Dispenza before this all happened while I was cooking. And it makes sense. And I was like, wow, I needed to hear that again. I don't know why I was watching YouTube videos. I usually love to watch YouTube videos while I'm cooking and cleaning my dishes. That's just a thing of mine. And I heard that. And I was like, man, I needed to hear that again. I needed to hear that again. And I paused and I said, what allowed me to get back to that? He mentioned this. You allowed a person, a place, or a thing that got you there. So say, for example, an ex, right? Or number two, a certain event, right? Like you got into an accident or you got into a very bad, like, habit of doing things, or going back to binge eating. For me, it's binge eating, by the way, which I did do over the weekend. I was starting to eat chocolates again. And I'm look, I'm going to tell you, I had a drink of Big Red. I had told you I'm not drinking soda no more. So this is how I knew I broke my commitment. And I said, you know what? I know that I'm doing this, but I'm doing it because I'm going inwards to see what the fuck my problem is. So anyways, mine just scattle along. So then I start to dig deeper. I go, okay, what the fuck happened to me? Like, how did I get here? Beyond everything that's going on the last 2 weeks, what was the thing that made me get to that point? And I already know who it is, and I know who this person is and why it allows my trigger to get back to that moment. So I knew back then I had to build these boundaries with this person, and I had them very strongly, but something created me to go back to it. So anyways, I knew then that this person, I cannot allow this person to manipulate or control my life anymore. And you're probably like, damn, Val, is this really happening to you? Yes, it is. It really is. And let me explain why. And not to talk bad about this person. That's not what I'm saying. But I knew this is what the fuck I was feeling. So the event that happened and what the emotion triggered was anger. And I was angry because I have to do everything. And I am aware of that. And I know that the way that I feel is because you know that I have to care for your child. You know that I have to do everything for her. And you know that I have to do more because I'm the one that solely has her. Because I chose to do that. But yet, you know what's going on health-wise with her. And a mother worries because that's her cub. The least thing you can do is be considerate of what's happening and allow me to know what is going on. Yes, the person allowed me to know what was going on, but there was dates set for this to happen. She was supposed to get surgery, and then we had to postpone that. And then from postponing that, a whole lot happened after that. And I said, I'm so angry right now because she's struggling. I'm not struggling. It hurts me to see her struggle. That's why I'm angry. That's why I'm angry. And if you're hearing this, I hope you understand it, because you probably think I'm mad at something that is not even what you're thinking right now. Men have a lot of pride, y'all. Men have a lot of fucking pride. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I've been a very prideful woman for a very long time, but I said I can't be doing this anymore. I should allow myself to get into my feminine every single day, and I should be able to balance my masculine. However, going back to the emotion. So I knew at that point that I was angry. And so I said, okay. After I listened to Joe Dispenza, it like lit up a light bulb. I went from survival to awareness subconsciously. I said, oh my God, I've been unconscious this whole fucking time. How the fuck did I allow myself to do that? I said, bitch, we got to break this goddamn matrix. So anyways, I get right into it. I said, okay, let's get back to, see, this is the trick, y'all. This is the trick. I hope you're taking notes. So I said, I need to stop what I'm doing right now. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to allow myself to rest. I'm going to allow myself to watch a movie with the kids. I'm going to allow myself to enjoy this moment. I'm going to allow myself to just do nothing. Nothing. Right? That's the feminine. Without feeling guilty, without judging yourself. Like, oh my God, I need to pick up the crumbs. They're just staring at me right now. Fuck the crumbs. All right? They ain't doing shit. They're going to sit there however long they want to sit there. And that's just it. That's just life. So anyways, I shifted my focus on my body. I shifted my focus on my energy again. And I said, I'm just going to relax. And the laughing, the crying, everything just kind of unraveled itself there. It was beautiful. It was beautiful because me and the kids were happy. We were enjoying the movie. It just felt present. We were back in the present now. And it took just the movie for us to sit down and just be aware, right? So maybe this will work with you for any single mamas. I'm not saying I expect this thing to work, but it works for me. And it just opened up another light bulb for me. So then I realized, okay, this is it. This is a trick. So then, mind you, as the day goes on, the person that I'm dating, he's like, hey, well, yeah, I've been, I just got here to work and I've been feeling a little off, but I'm okay. And I said, okay, well, that's good. And, we had a little short conversation, because I know he's not feeling good. I don't want to bother him. I don't want to annoy him. That's the last thing. I would not want to do that because I understand he's not feeling well. And it's just like, I'm going to keep it short today. And I need it for me too. Mind you, after this, I had told him like, hey, my energy's off. He's like, yeah, mine too. And I was just like, I think I might call it early today. And he said, okay, that's fine. I was like, it sounds like you need like a bubble bath and, maybe like candles. I was like, yeah, you actually read my mind because I literally just turned on the bathtub. I was able to get the little one to sleep early. And I was like, thank God, finally some peace and quiet. Thank you, God. And I was just like so grateful because guys, like you don't understand, like those little things mean a lot to me. Like they really do. Even though I'm by myself, like sometimes that's all I want. That's all I want. And that's not much, So anyways, I know I'm getting emotional because it really does make a lot of sense for me, like where I bottle up my emotions. And I'm telling you right now, I'm being honest. So then the baby goes to sleep and I tell him like, yeah, I'm going to end it early, get some rest. I was like, I hope you feel better. And I said, I'm gonna do my self-care today. I'm gonna loathe myself tonight. So anyways, he says, good night. I kid you not, I put my bath bomb in there and I just throw the water on my body, just like, not throwing it, but just like letting it just sit on my legs and my body. And I'm just putting it, caressing my body, touching my legs, just like really soothing me. That's how I get form of self-love. So anyways, I get out and I start doing my skincare routine. Like I do my facial cleanser, my serum, my mask, and I do my under eye mask because my eyes looked crazy, girl. Like I'm telling you, like I probably have under eyes right now because I haven't been sleeping because the little one had been getting up. And it feels so good. It feels so good to just put those little patches on your eyes. It's like heaven. So then my son comes in and he's like, oh, I'm ready to go to bed. I was like, oh, perfect timing. I'm done with my self-care. And he's like, oh, good. I was like, so are we ready to go to sleep? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So anyways, we go to bed and we wake up. So this is me now recording this podcast, but look how that turned out to come about with everything that I just told you. I feel like we're not relating because we're not allowing ourselves to feel what's going on. We're either avoiding what's going on and we just get stuck in the feeling. But I had to shift my perspective because I was like, wait a minute. How did I get here? Like, what in the Jesus name? Like, there's no way. I'm all congested. I apologize. How can I allow myself to create more boundaries? And I said, this is where you need to speak up, Val. Like, it's just like, yes, you feel stress and it's okay to feel stress, but accept that it's already happened and move forward. Change the action, right? What can I do to change the action? What can I do to just be so I can just do what I need to do, like for myself? So I'm going to say for anybody here who's listening, reconnect with self-care. That's going to be number one. Reconnect with self-care. What is self-care for you? I'm going to give you some examples. So prioritize sleep. Number one, do nutrition. Cook yourself a nice little meal. Hydration. Gentle movement like yoga, walking, or dancing. That's one. Also, number two, cultivating creativity and play, right? Feminine energy thrives when we create or explore and express ourselves freely. You heard me earlier. Engage in activities that light you up, whether it's painting, cooking, or something that makes you be spontaneous and playful. For me, it's cooking. I like getting into the cooking mode. I love cooking now. So when I get into the cooking, I get creative. I feel like cooking gets me to slow down. I think that's what it is. I like taking my time. I like looking at the colors, the textures, the ingredients. My kitchen has to be clean. And that's just part of my like feminine side, I guess. Just like I want to have that. Sorry, I'm a little congested. I need to take my vitamins. Number 3, embrace stillness and intuition. You heard what I said. I just did nothing. You can do meditation, breath work, quiet time in nature to help you reconnect. For me, what I was able to do to slow down was just sit in the sofa and just enjoy a movie, a nice, funny movie. I would recommend, depending on how you're feeling, to put a movie that's going to light up your soul again, right? Who's going to awaken those emotions like happiness and joy to trigger that feeling again. Because honestly, had I not watched that movie, I don't think I would have been woken up, besides the fact of the video that I mentioned. So do things that light you up. Maybe listen to a nice podcast like mine, or listen to some music that is going to make you feel good, right? To wake you up. Number 4, honor your emotions. Amen. Amen. Honor your emotions. Ladies, it feels good to honor your feelings. Stop putting them away in a little box, Pandora's box, because Pandora's box eventually gets open, and guess what? She becomes very lethal, right? There's all kinds of emotions there. There's anger. Mine was anger and stress. You heard my words. So it was 2 of those words, right? And the thing was that the trigger, the thing is, y'all, triggers will never go away. I'm going to be honest with you, they don't. But there's going to be things, events that trigger that emotion. And when that thing gets triggered, kaboom, everything else goes, right? It just, one little thing after another just keeps doing it until the universe is like, let her figure it out. She's going to have to figure it out this time. She's going to have to figure it this time. And the thing is, you have to figure out when it happens. If you don't figure it out the first time, it's going to happen again, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. Oh, you're ready for the 10th time? Girl, you better get you a Kleenex box because you're about to cry your eyes out. Yeah. So honor your emotions, ladies. Journal, talking with a trusted friend. I love to journal. So when I feel some type of way, I journal a lot. Or even crying can help release stagnant energy. Make space for new energy, guys. I cried in this movie, and my son's like, why are you crying? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just crying. Like, I just... But I feel like these movies, when I do this, I allow myself to explore those avenues, which I love. So find that, okay? Number 5, set boundaries and practice feminine leadership. So learn to say no to these people when you need to. Say no. Allow yourself to have space to rest without guilt. You just heard me. I allowed the breadcrumbs to sit on the floor. The house was chaos. There was stuff everywhere because the baby just likes to kind of go everywhere around the downstairs area. So I said, you know what? I don't care. It's not like they're just crumbs. I mean, what the hell? Like, I like to have my place pretty tidy, right? And I just laid there with not feeling guilty about it. The next one, ground yourself in nature. Spend time outside. Go to a park, a little walk in the park, or step outside in the grass. Step outside on the grass for a few minutes, or just get out of the house. Get some fresh air, like just get out. Shift your perspective. This is a big one for me. This is the last one, by the way. I know you're like, you're talking too much. Well, that's just the way that I do things. This is how I express myself. Shift your perspective. If you're feeling drained, it might be helpful to reflect on whether you're overgiving or not fully aligned with your authentic path. Remember how I said about earlier, what got me to this point and why am I here and how can I move forward? The thing about feminine energy, ladies, it's that it flows. It's receptive. It flows. So sometimes it's about letting go of control, right? And trusting the process. And let's just put this out. This is the last one. The thing about control, that's masculine energy, right? So, and it's easy to go back in that, especially for a single mother, right? It's like, because you're the doer, you're the one that has to take action, you're the one that has to do this, that, yada, yada, yada. But we can easily catch ourselves by just slowing down and reflecting why we feel that we do. Any triggers, any emotions that come up. These are the big key takeaways that I want you to take from this podcast episode today. Practice what those things are for you. Write them down. That way, when you know that you're in this energy, right? Let's say one day something happens and you get stressed again, right? The stress hormones popping up. There's a green, red, yellow light, right? So let's just say that stress comes on, right? So right now, the red light's on. It's blinking at you. It's just blinking at you, girl. Stop. Drop and roll. No, I'm just kidding. I had to end it on a funny note, y'all. Stop, drop, and roll, girls. Stop. No, pop, lock, and drop it, ladies. Pop, lock, and drop it, okay? I need you to get low on the floor. Move those hips. Yeah, why not? Shay, you might as well pop, lock, and drop it. Hey, dance in front of a mirror. I love doing that, by the way. When I feel some type of way, I do that. I do dance in front of a mirror. I dance sexy in front of a mirror, though, ladies. So, get it. Anyways, so find what works to get you out of that energy and shift it to a different energy, right? So the red light's on. Val knows, okay, what do we need to do, Val? We need to slow down. Let's watch a movie. Let's just have a good laugh. Let's have a good cry and just enjoy the moment. Once I fully accept my emotions, I then arise myself to elevate my emotion at that point. I have now got out of survival mode. I have now left stress. I have now left the anger. I have now left that energy away from me. I no longer am that energy. I am now moving forward, if that makes any sense, right? I want you guys to understand, just like that movie, so it's funny how I bring this up, but we're all here to live life, right? And to enjoy it. We get so caught up on the outside stuff that we forget who we are, right? Kind of like the movie Soul, where he's like, the little guy starts like doubting himself, and that little black cloud just starts dusting, right? All the bullshit that everybody's doing, right? Like the outside noise, like, you're not doing this, blah, 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 blah. And he gets lost. He becomes a lost soul. So that's my perfect example. I became a fucking lost soul. And I was like, God damn, what the fuck is going on? I was like, God damn, like, this is not me. Like, I know this isn't me. Like, I knew it. This is the thing. I fucking knew it. And I think this movie's perfect example of that. And I said, girl, we gotta wake up. We can't stay dormant. It's a vicious cycle, y'all. It's a vicious cycle. And I think from the last podcast that I loaded yesterday, I was talking about this. And I can see why a lot of people don't know, or they just don't know how to stop and reflect on themselves, right? Maybe because you feel uncomfortable. But maybe that uncomfortable is to show you that you can make shit happen. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable. It is. It's like love, right? You don't know what you're going to get. You're just going to have to be open for that opportunity to allow yourself to love, be vulnerable, and allow another person in. Same thing. When you start a new job, you go into an interview, you're going to give it your best, but you don't even know whether this job's going to be the best thing ever until you start doing the job, right? Sorry, guys. I'm opening the curtains. I hope this helped you guys. It helped me. It's a gain perspective, and where I have to set boundaries for myself. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get the sniffles, and just be. I woke up in a better mood today. I woke up with grace. I woke up with talent and inspiration, because I knew I had to share this with everybody. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not a lost soul. What's happening right now is to let you see that you are better than that. You are not that. Remember that. It's time to wake up. It's time to shift the perspective. It's time to get into that feminine energy. Feminine energy is relaxing. It's contagious. Once you do this, you're going to feel people are going to not be reaching out to you as much. Like the people that are chaotic, you're just going to see it. Just watch. And then you're going to see it. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is why they robbed me of my energy. Yeah, I know exactly when someone wants to take my energy because they show up. And this is the test, y'all. You have to show up for yourself. Say no to yourself. And I'm not saying say no to the person right then and there. What I'm saying is you don't allow anybody to control you, anybody to manipulate you or gaslight you or breadcrumb you or whatever. What you're doing is correct. You're showing up for yourself by pulling your energy back and saying no to any little circumstance that doesn't help you get to your growth. So anyways, I'm going to end it there. I love you guys very much. Thank you again for tuning back in with me here at the Woman Pod with Valerie Atkinson. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, follow. That way you get notified when I do load my podcast here for you guys. Have an amazing week. You're amazing. Thank you guys.